Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So, of course, on the docket for today, a lot to get to. We have Capital One rebranding some of their credit cards. We have some news from the airline space. Spirit looks like they're on the ropes. We have the United American CEOs floating a random merger out of nowhere. And, of course, we have American Express sending out surveys about the Blue Cash Preferred. So, nothing better than to overreact to some surveys and some potential changes. So, of course, if any of that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we'll lead off with Capital One. So Capital One, they have business cards. They've had two lines over there. They have the Spark cards, and they have the Miles cards as well. They've now rebranded those cards, the Mile ones, to be Venture cards. No real change overall, but let's take a look nonetheless in case you are in the market for a new card. So again, on the business side, you now have the Venture One business. It used to be the Miles and the Miles Select, I believe, were your two options here. And you can see not much changes. It's still a no annual fee card. It gets the same paint job as its personal counterpart has there. So not too much to write home about. Still, the regular intro offer, I believe. Now the other one here, the Big Brother, this was the Miles Select, I want to say, and this one, of course, did get a little bit of change, right? It's now the Venture Business card. They are adding credits, of course, but they're not terrible. $50 annual statement credit. Of course, you get your global entry or TSA pre-check, and that annual travel credit if you're going through Capital One business travels. As far as credits go, not terrible. Overall, not too much to say there. It does make sense to bring them in line with the other cards, make it easier for folks to understand. So no changes to the cash side, which I don't think you really need to change the cash side, honestly, but there you go. New artwork all around. Now, while you're traveling, you might like Wyndham. Wyndham seems to be everywhere because now they're adding a new transfer partner. This time they're getting Wells Fargo. So we have a press release, and here we have it. Wells Fargo welcomes Wyndham to Rewards Point Transfer Program. Now, overall, not a crazy headline, except for the fact that they do say designed to deliver strong value, which is normally a throwaway line, except the transfer rate is a 1-to-2 ratio, which means one Wells Fargo point would net you 2 Wyndham points. And I do believe that is the best transfer ratio we have right now for Wyndham overall. I think Wyndham's like a lot. I could have sworn, I think Built Rewards just added Wyndham, or someone else added Wyndham. But anyhow, this does help, if you like Wyndham, if you like Wells Fargo, I like Wells Fargo. One of the biggest knocks on Wells is that the transfer partners are, I don't know if it's fairly weak, but most folks, we want the major change, the Deltas, the Uniteds, the Americans, the Marriotts, the Hyatts, the Hiltons, and those guys are all spoken for. So, what's left? Well, they can add more folks like this. And again, Wyndham does have a strong following from what I understand. So, again, more options is better. That's a solid transfer rate. I don't know if that transfer rate is going to last. The way this is written, it seems like it will, but you never know. We do know how these points things go, so I wouldn't be surprised. So, anyhow, there you have it. Now, if you're going to stay out of Wyndham and you are going to fly Spirit Airlines, well, one, why? But two, more importantly, you might want to reconsider it. We have news from Bloomberg that was reporting that Spirit could liquidate as early as this past week. It didn't happen. I didn't see it, so could happen very soon. We'll put it at that. I didn't pay for the Bloomberg article. I like you guys, but not that much. It's also on Reuters, I believe, for free as well. But again, as you know, Spirit Airlines, they were going to go through a merger with JetBlue back in the day. That was blocked by the Department of Justice. And then after that, JetBlue said, nah, we're good. We're not going to do that. So then Spirit went into bankruptcy. So liquidation would mean, hey, we're just selling everything for parts, which, funny enough, not funny if you work for Spirit, but JetBlue in a roundabout way, if you start selling off parts to the airline, to liquidate, I suppose JetBlue could just come in and cherry pick the parts that it wanted originally, and do something like that. So we'll keep an eye on that. I believe Spirit also, weirdly enough, they were working on a debit card. I think that actually launched too. It wasn't anything to write home about or to include in the show other than this mention of it. So there you have it. Now, if you want a more reliable airline, to fly to your Wyndham destination, well, then United might be the place to be. This one is from Reuters, who does post free articles. And we do thank you for posting free articles. I'm trying to rip off your content. I don't want to pay for it. But you have it on screen. So, United Airlines CEO, and this was a weird title. So, the United top boss pitched American Airlines tie up in meeting with Trump, sources say. I don't know why. It took me a minute. Maybe it's just me. I was like, what do they mean by tie up? It looks like he wanted to buy American Airlines. So, it would the problem here, the interesting part, which you can imagine, would be the antitrust implications. American Airlines apparently does have quite a bit of debt compared to you know, as it stands, debt holding them back from being profitable. And so the United CEO has said fuel shock could widen the gap between strong and weak airlines, as you would imagine. Gas prices increasing everywhere. And so I just, they go on to say, I guess, I don't know if it would get approved. And that's really the thing, right? I mean, that's pretty, yeah, we've got three top airlines and two of them want to merge, even if one of them claims they're trouble. I mean, and also the way this came out is just, sources say he floated the idea. For all we know, he just floated the idea. It was like, hey, would you be interested in this? Or, hey, how much would I have to donate to your campaign or something to get you, to think about this. I don't know that Americans like, hey, yes, we would love to do this. Like, that is interesting story nonetheless to see what would happen if this were to go through. I can't imagine this goes. I mean, the Spirit JetBlue thing got blocked for competition in like the budget space. So I can't imagine this would go through, but we've seen some crazy things, and a lot of times it just seems whatever mood you catch President Trump in is what you're going to get. He might be pretty distracted, with the war and bombing people. So that could also be, maybe he thinks you could strap some missiles to this and it could come in handy. I don't know. But one thing he does think will be handy for some reason is requiring banks to collect passport or citizens information when opening a new bank account, which is interesting. We've talked about this before. So the new development, this one from the Hill, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, don't know who he is, sounds important, said that a proposed executive order would require banks to collect citizenship information. I said passport because usually the easiest document to show them. In process. So they think they're drafting one up. Quote, I don't think it's unreasonable because why don't we have information on who's in our banking system? That's weird. The Trump official told the outlet Monday, I have a place in the UK. They want to know who lives in every apartment, and how do we know that it's not part of a foreign terrorist organization? I mean, they do collect. There is a field for are you a U.S. citizen, and if you're not, you can provide like an I-10, and they do get Social Security and address, things of that nature. I'm biased on this one because I opened so many accounts, as you know, from the second channel run on the bank, and I just did this yesterday. Actually, two came up. Every so often, the banks, especially on the business side, was like, hey, the government requires us to verify your information again. So American Express said, here, just read this, make sure it's fine, and click OK. And maybe had to upload a document to prove address. And then Mercury, more of a fintech type deal, said the same thing, except they wanted a picture of ID front and back and a picture of me. I didn't autograph it for them, though I did offer. And so clearly Mercury doesn't need to collect that much information because American Express didn't, but generally your rule can be more strict than the law. It just can't be less strict. So, if you want a bank there continue to use that, well, then follow the process or don't. All that to say, it doesn't bother me so much from that standpoint because the amount of things I've sent banks for money doesn't really bother me. If I wasn't into bank promotion hunting, then this would probably bother me greatly. It's just, but I'm more so one of those, hey, government knows too much, has too much control and power already type people. So we'll see what happens. I think when this originally came up, they had also mentioned making it retroactive. So for everyone who has an account now, they would go in and have to update somehow. So I don't think it'll be that big of a deal, but I can see why folks are upset having another document to verify. I would say if they're going to do it, you just got to get on the banks, the smaller banks, because some banks have portals, and that's fine. That's as secure as it's going to get. But some just say, send me this back in secure email, and maybe it's secure. I don't know. I mean, you just got to put some guardrails around it. Generally, the government, even sometimes they're well-intentioned, they don't follow through with a thought and implementation, and it does end up jamming up the customer more than it should. So there we go. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Now, on to the last story of the week. We have American Express. Last time we had Citi sending out surveys. Now we have American Express sending out surveys. This is for the Blue Cash Preferred card. It's the dark blue card. It's $95. It's like 6% on groceries, up to like $8,000 in spend, I want to say. So anyhow, I feel like they send out multiples of these. I found this one on The Good Doctor. He had a link to a few different ones. We're just going to look at the one that I saw. I'll put it on screen for you now. So they're giving you 3 options. So which of the following versions of the Blue Cash Preferred would you most likely to consider renewing? Select one. So again, option 1, no annual fee in the first year, then $135. Option 2 is $145, and option 3 is $0 in the first year, then up to $160. So no matter what, the fee is going up, which kind of tracks to what they do. We're just going to hit these very quickly. Again, the option 1, supermarkets is what they call it. You're going to get 6%, but it moves up to $10,000 in purchases per year, which is better. The middle one, 8% up to $6K and spend, and then 6% up to $6K. So you're still getting, they're still focusing on the grocery. You can see there's still some other multipliers there. Option 2 and 3 give you the most multipliers, but of course the fee goes up the most, and then it's somehow balanced out with partner benefits, as they call them, what we would call coupons. Option 1, you could get 5% back on Expedia. Don't really think that's useful. Oh, look at that, a Resi credit, $10 monthly statement credit, and an annual Uber One membership. The middle option here, 10% cash back on up to $1,000 in purchases per year, then 1%. That's probably the best partner benefit, I guess. Well, that's at PetSmart. Sorry, that's not just a plain out one. It's very specific. AI subscription, they don't specify which one. They might if you could click into this info button. And then Walmart Plus, and the third option, 5% back on Amex Travel. Not worth a whole lot. $15 statement credit at PetSmart and cloud storage subscription. There is a play for Amex check your savings accounts on the middle option, 25 quarterly credit if you have 25K maintained in the car rental loss and cell phone protection on the third one. So I mean, overall, I don't like this card. People love this card. I think it's sort of a trap, because if I'm paying, again, right now, $95, I don't really want and it's 6% groceries up to $6,000 in spend. I think the cap needs to be higher for that fee. Obviously, they're looking at the entire product and the other multipliers it's offering. The one caveat is I do believe the current one still has that Disney Plus credit, and if you have Disney Plus, then it probably weighs itself out. I would more so, if I had to pick one of these, I guess I'm going option 2. I guess that's probably the best one if you can use the Walmart Plus subscription, 8%. And yeah, it's probably the better one. You can't get 8% anywhere on groceries, and there's too many free products like the AAA Daily Advantage. It does 5% back on groceries for free. You can do it with some category cards, I think, like the Citi Custom Cash, for example. So I just don't think the current one is any good. But again, people really like this card. So I don't love any of these options. I don't hate them as much as I thought I would. I mean, I think, I'm going to go option number 2, but you can let me know which one you would pick down below. So, of course, we'll keep an eye on this. When it happens, I'm convinced it's going to happen. They're going to increase the annual fee and provide you more stuff. I mean, if you get enough Amex cards, apparently you'll just be able to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Resi restaurants every single day of the week, I would think. But anyways, there is the news. So let me know what you think about all of it down below. Of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel so you're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, which is of course the channel's blog, always linked down below for you and on the channel homepage. We have news stories just like this. We have plenty of bank promotions, so if you want to get yourself an Amex account, we should have some offers for that. And we have some credit card offers as well. I don't think we have anything for the Blue Cash Preferred, but you never know. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon this week.